Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den Podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Woo. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for another edition of the Orlando Lions Den podcast, and we got a rare JJ sighting. JJ, you ain't been here in a hot minute. How you doing, brother?
I'm here. I'm doing good. I'm just singing "Summertime Sadness." You know,
big
it's
Lana
a
Del
great
Rey guy
song that I've been hearing recently.
Been here recently. I thought we were listening to that back a lot in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, every summer we hear it. It seems like.
Well, I mean, Alex decided to not listen to that song today because he's got a background up, so he can't see what's behind it. Are you feeling the summertime sadness out there as well, my man? Or are you feeling a little bit better?
Yeah, definitely summertime sadness. Not because of Orlando City. My job is terrible. The weather has been horrible. I haven't been flying. I'm stuck in Indiana by myself. So yeah, it's summertime sadness. But the club's not helping. But I mean, it's not mainly because of them.
Well, at least there's that. So we have the positive there.
Sorry, I bring it on you, but yeah, I had to. It's good to vent. This is the only interaction with other human beings I have. So,
hey, you can call me up whenever you want if you're bored and you need to interact. I'm on a different time zone, so I'm up all the time. So I got a text from one of my employees yesterday, and she's like, "Hey, our flight got in late. Is it okay if I take another day? I don't think I'm going to be in tomorrow." Oh, I'm sorry, I texted you so late. I'm like, I know it's 11 o'clock for you, but it's like just turned 9 o'clock for me. I am still awake. You're fine.
By the way, you have to show up, be there.
Yeah, I did say that after, and then she quit. So I'm just kidding. Obviously not. I like giving my people time off if they have, if I can accommodate it. So, but no, we got you, brother. Always here for you. Do you have any video games up there? Play video games? Could always do that. So.
Dude, there's a Switch, but I'm not a Nintendo guy.
I gotcha. I'm a PlayStation.
And it's got like it's like jailbroken, and it's got like every game from every Nintendo era in the history of Nintendo. And it almost makes it less desirable.
I see what you're saying.
I get it. On Super Mario, you'll be fine.
I've watched every aviation-related YouTube video that you could find. Some of them twice. I've rewatched all of Ted Lasso, Suits. I'm on How I Met Your Mother rewatch right now.
You could skip the last season.
Yeah, so it's been fun.
Yeah.
I'm getting my schoolwork done though, so I mean, doing something productive with my life. So,
hey, we take that. That's good.
There you go.
All right. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about Orlando City wise, but before we do that, we'll go ahead and shout out our people. First, Hourglass Brewing. Thank you as always for No Mango No Party 2 years in a row. We appreciate you. I'm going through these quicker and quicker each week, I swear. Shout out Chad McGibbon at Chad McGibbon on Twitter. If you're looking to buy a home in the Central Florida area, he's got you taken care of at Chad McGibbon on Twitter or QR code on the screen. If you're trying to buy a house as well, hit up Leo with the Epic Mortgage Team powered by You Mortgage, 407-844-7696. QR code also on the screen, and at Loans by Leo on social media. Again, that's if you're trying to buy a home, refinance a home. He's got you covered one way or the other, even if it's just the questions. He'll take care of you. And last but not least, our man Eddie with Comparion Insurance. Always, we're in the middle of hurricane season right now. If you're in Florida, always make sure that you got the right coverage that you need. Eddie's got you covered. And if you can't see the QR code on the screen, just shoot us a DM on the Twitter page. We'll get you connected with Eddie, and he will do his best to make sure that you got the best coverage possible for your situation. I think that's all. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. It is a draw against last place in the league, Montreal. Disappointing result. Had a great free kick set play from Martin Ojeda in the first half to open the scoring. Under the wall, a little 1-2 with him and Muriel. Beautiful, beautiful set piece play. And then in the second half, we had a very, very unfortunate and silly tackle made by one Rodrigo Schlegel. Penalty kick. Javier Otero in the net for Pedro Gallese, unable to make the save. 1-1 draw is the final result. And I know that JJ's got a couple things to say. So, Alex, I'm going to go ahead and go to you first. I want your thoughts on the game. I was up hiking in the mountains up in Dillon, which for those that don't know, that's out by Breckenridge. I had the most scenic view of an Orlando City game I've ever had in my life, watching on my phone as I'm hiking. It at least made the pain a little bit better. So,
Yeah, it was horrible to watch from the starting lineup from the first kick. Honestly, I mean, Ojeda, who's been arguably one of the best number 10s in MLS all season, gets shifted out left. Put the guy who has really only ever had success with us, our DP number 9, as a striker, and throw him in at the 10 role. It was just a mix up. It was a bunch of players playing out of position from the get. It's not surprising that the only goal we got was off of a set piece. Really, it was a beautiful set piece, great design. Ojeda does what he does and just puts it in, he buries it, and that's what you need. But I'm not a fan of the tactics from the get. I'm not a fan of, and I don't want to rant, I don't want to steal the thunder or anything, but I'm not a fan of blaming the referee for something that is a constant issue with us in Rodrigo Schlegel. I'm not a fan of blaming Schlegel, for being him. He gave up a penalty. Yeah, so what? If you allow one goal to Montreal, the worst team in the East with a negative 22 goal differential, if you allow one goal to them, you should still win. That's how it's been all season against them. So, the fact that we tied and Schlegel gave up the penalty, and don't blame the refs because it was a pen. It wasn't a flop.
It was a bad tackle.
It was a penalty, and it's like 4-on-1. There's like 4 Orlando City defenders in the box and one guy with the other jersey on, and we give up a penalty.
Situation where you should never be getting in there like that. Absolutely.
But with that said, you know what? It's not his fault. It's not his fault. The game plan is at fault here. The playing down to our competition, which it has kind of always been a thing, but it stopped being a thing really at the end of last year and even into the beginning of this year. It wasn't really a thing. We were playing really well and beating the teams we were supposed to beat. But man, I keep going back to what I had said, a couple weeks ago, and after Cesar got the red against Atlanta, is I just don't understand how the guys that have been on the team the longest are the ones that consistently cost us points and disappoint us the most, whether that's Oscar Pereja, whether that's Ivan Angulo, Cesar Araujo, Pedro, Schlegel. I mean, these are the most tenured guys on the team, and they're the ones that have, without their mistakes, we're in probably comfortably supporter shield leaders right now. Probably comfortably. Pedro's cost us 5 to 7 points. Cesar, easily 5 points. Angulo,
I said 7 for him.
Yeah, Angulo, however many you want. And Rodrigo, 5 to 7 points too, and not in the same matches either. These are separate occurrences that these are happening in different matches, and it's just not acceptable. His players need to be held accountable, and the coach needs to be held accountable for his tactics and his decision at home against the worst team in the league. It's just it's not acceptable. And at this point, if we're going to play Ojeda out left and Muriel at the 10, just put Angulo back in the game. Just put him back in the starting lineup. I never thought I'd say that. I was so excited to see him bench, but my goodness, it's painful to watch, honestly.
And I'm gonna cut off here and say a couple things because I want to let JJ just stew and let it build what he's got to say, because he said he had a rant prepared. So if you guys are watching along, feel free. If you have things that you want to add in, go ahead and comment in the chat. We'll get you on here and get you a part of this. But my thing too, one of the other things that I looked at, obviously I'm in agreement with you, Alex. I've been saying, yes, I want to see Angulo out of the starting lineup for the past couple weeks because he's just been detrimental to the team going forward. That finally happens, but we changed shape. Why? Like, why are we moving things around the way that none of us, like when we were all like, yeah, no, we put Ramiro in at left wing all the time. He'll just go out to left wing. And instead, no, we do the opposite of what we expect. And it's been unhelpful. I got in not an argument with someone on Twitter, but so I was saying that Martino Hayda is just less effective that way. And someone's like, well, he's got, a goal and an assist in the last 2 games. I was like, yeah, but he got the goal off of a set piece and he got the assist after some subs were made and he came back in central. Like it kind of proves the point. In our last game against Charlotte, we went down 2-0 and we couldn't score goals until we moved Ojeda central. And then at this point we were up 1-0 and we made too many subs in this game in particular to put ourselves in a situation where we have the people on the field to go ahead and try and get a winner. We just don't have the subs for that right now. And the other thing that I want to go ahead and shout out, so you already kind of talked about it with Poppy a little bit. I'm also going to call out our goalkeeping coach, Cesar Baena, because of the fact that Prince Owusu took the penalty kick. Every single penalty kick he's taken in his MLS career has gone to the goalkeeper's left. Why is nobody telling Otero he's very likely to go left? Otero dove the wrong way. Owusu put a very, very savable penalty to the left. And I'm not blaming this on Otero. The coaching staff should have had that informed to him. If you're not getting that information given to you, you don't have anything to do with it. But like, you got to be prepared for that based on the players that you're playing against. You got to know their tendencies. So, and he didn't. So that's just disappointing as well. Outside of it just being a disappointing game overall. All right, JJ, what do you got for me?
So I'd like to congratulate the Blues, Chelsea, for winning the World Club Cup. Orlando City should take a little page out of Chelsea. These guys came to the United States after playing a whole season, counting also their European Cup or whatever else they played. They played a lot of games. They come here in the summertime, and they show that they could play in 95-degree weather with the heat index of 100 and something and still know how to play and not be tired and win and beat PSG the way they did. I also want to congratulate, and I hate to say it, Inter Miami. They have, you can make a face. Yes, I'm saying it. They have 35-year-old Lionel Messi, 40-year-old Luis Suarez. I'm kidding about the 40-year-old, but he seems like he's
not by much. Not by much.
They got Sergio Busquets. They just finished playing an intense World Club Cup where they beat Porto. They made it to the next round. They got knocked out. They come back. And now they got like 3 or 4 games behind. So if they win those games, they're really ahead in the Supporters' Shield and everything. And Messi's just kicking ass, to be honest with you. He's on fire. I mean, the guy hasn't – what was it? He scored a goal and an assist or something like that in the last 4 games or 5. Nobody's ever done that or hasn't done it in a long time. So congratulations on Inter Miami. Now we talk about Orlando City. First of all, who the hell is Rodrigo Schlegel? And why does he have the armband for that game? This guy came from the 3rd division in Argentina and luckily is playing here in the MLS. Give it to somebody that at least Atuesta or the Croatian who plays on the national team for Croatia, where he's learning, he can learn from Modric. Give it to somebody. Why Rodrigo Schlegel? That's one of the things that pissed me off was seeing that Rodrigo with the armband. And how many times has he's not the quality of player to have an armband. He's a dirty player. We know that. I mean, you love him because he's a dirty player on our team, but he's also very antic. And what I mean by that is, he flops a lot. He causes problems. That's not a captain. A captain is a leader. And to me, Rodrigo Schlegel is not a leader. And then good job on the PK there, Rodrigo. And for the fans that are there at Interco Stadium, it's a freaking PK. Stop freaking If you don't know the damn game, stop commenting. You know, I'm on the other side and I saw it was a PK. You know, stop it. If you don't know the game, don't make comments to make you guys look stupid there at the stadium. Number 2, Oscar. You know, I try to be nice, try to be all about Oscar and everything. But what the hell are you doing taking your 1-0? I know you want to park the bus, whatever. But taking 2 of your forwards, I mean, we don't even have any more forwards, to be honest with you. Taking 2 of your forwards out and putting Kyle Smith in and Dagger Dan? What the hell? Who's up front? Martin Ojeda? He's no damn striker. And he's already tired by that time to run around and try to go up there and score a goal. And guess what? Now you get scored on with the PK. You get the PK. Now it's 1-1. Now you have no damn striker up front to try to get that the win. What the hell's going on? So, Poppy, I don't know what the hell you did there. And Angulo, I mean, you subbed on. You still were sucky. I mean, couldn't score. I mean, it just you lose the ball all the time. Defensive-wise, Brecalo, great. But there's something's got to be up with this team. I mean, we're falling apart. We're seeing it right here in front of our eyes. The team is not the team that we saw at this beginning. I don't know what's going on. And the bottom line, and I'll continue because I know what you're going to put up here in a second. After that, I'll talk about that. But something's wrong with this team, and hopefully somebody notices it. That's what I'll say. And I think you're going to come up on with that.
I am going to do that, but first I just want to point out, I think this is Aaron's comment here. Buy everyone. You were talking about we need to be like Chelsea. He said, what, buy everyone possible and tie them to the longest contract possible. That gave me a laugh, Aaron, so I appreciate that. If you have watched what Chelsea's done in recent years, you know exactly what he means there. But no, what you're saying is that it has not been good enough. And we got this tweet from Ricardo Moreira this was about 12:30 p.m. after the game against, or 12:30 a.m. after the game against Montreal. So late into the night, he was feeling it. The club has set a new standard, and tonight we fell below it. We're not here to settle for enough. We're here to grow, to demand more, and to deliver. Vamos por más. Wednesday has just started. So as far as I'm concerned, and I'm going to leave this up on the screen so it can gestate, everyone can digest it. You know, we need a big response tomorrow night, or tonight if you're listening to this on the pod feed. We need a big response from the guys against NYCFC. And if our sporting director, Ricardo Moreira, is coming out and saying this publicly, he is very disappointed in what he saw on the field. So JJ, since you cut off because you knew this was coming, what are your thoughts on the statement here?
Very happy. Finally, somebody that has some cojones that decided to write something. Luis Muzi never wrote that. Alex Leitão never wrote that. Nobody's ever written something like that. And for Ricardo to come out and say that, heads are on the chopping block. Guarantee you already. And that's basically, he's putting out a stance saying, hey, if we don't get results here against New York, I think you might start seeing people, I'm not saying the coach, but you might see assistant coaches. He's going to make some moves. And I like the transparency that he's coming out, telling the fans he agrees with them, that they're not playing good. They're not, I haven't seen this from anybody. In the existence of Orlando City, I have not seen this from any general manager, sporting director, or any bit, ownership or anything. And for him to come out and say that, I feel somebody's on the chopping block. And even though he's signed, listen, the Wolves can pay him off. And here you go. Have a great day. See you later. Time to get somebody else. I mean, it's done in all of sports, in soccer. So
absolutely,
he's putting the warning out there to all those coaches, not just Oscar, but to Cesar, to all of them. That guess what? It's chopping block time if you guys can't perform.
What do you think, Alex?
I don't know if I'd go as far as saying it's chopping block time. I mean, I don't think Oscar's going anywhere. no matter how you may know that I feel about that. But I think in general, it's just mediocrity is not good enough. I mean, look at all the talent that this guy specifically has brought in, and he hits, and he hits, and he hits, and every now and again, there's not a good one, but I mean, just Pasalic, just himself is worth every dime that we pay Ricardo if that was his signing. Just the way that he's performed this season. Ojeda, we brought him in, and he sat on the bench for a year and a half. Who makes the team every match to sit a guy like Martin Ojeda on the bench for a year and a half? That is looking at the more we go in the future, the more gross negligence that was for the last, for the first year and a half of his contract. So yeah, if I'm Ricardo, I'm pissed off too. I mean, I'd be angry. You can't draw against the worst team in the East at home. It's unacceptable. It's not even settling for enough, as he says in the post. That's not enough. That's not a 1-1 draw. That's way below any standard that arguably we've ever had, aside from 2018. That's never been our standard here. So yeah, I'd be frustrated. Not only with that match, but I mean, let's be honest. Cesar Araujo got that red card against Atlanta when we were up 2-1, and we had 3 points in the bag, and it turned into 0 points on the road against a rival. And we've gotten 8 points in 6 matches since then. And 6 of those points are Colorado and St. Louis. I mean, teams that you expect us to win, and thank goodness that we did. But every other match that we've played since then, and even those 2 matches, they weren't awesome. Against St. Louis, we had a good first 30 minutes, 3 goals, beautiful, maybe our best 30 minutes of the season. And then the last 60 minutes was horrible. We were holding on for dear life until Pasalic gets the 4th goal. And then against Colorado, it's kind of just that Poppy special that all of us have grown to hate. We don't even love to hate it. It's just we don't. That's not 1-0 with the offense that we've built, with the roster that's there, with 45 goal contributions from your DPs. 1-0 ain't good enough. It's not. That's not the standard that we want. And I think that's kind of the culmination of this post here is, we were up 1-0 against Montreal, and that's not where that's at no point ever, like JJ said, should you feel comfortable enough in a 1-0 game, I don't care who it's against, to say, all right, we're going to sub off all of our attackers here, to where it's almost guaranteed that we wouldn't be able to get a second goal if we needed one. And we're going to put in the defense because we're going to park the bus 1-0. I don't care if you're playing the U17s. You don't do that. You go for the second goal, and then you can make your subs after your second goal gets in. But, I mean, I think they had, and the expected goals, it rarely tells the story of the match. But I think in this match, it really did a good job. I mean, we had less than 1 expected goal. And aside from their PK, they had less than 0.1 expected goal. So, you have to continue to dominate. You have to go get your second goal. You have to create the chances. And if you take off your best players, it ain't going to happen. I agree with Ricardo. I'm happy to see him. I agree with JJ when he says that he's happy to see him, have this sort of reaction. And I agree with you, Mike, where, we have to get off of this snide that we're on after this Atlanta match, because 8 points, and I said it when it happened, that after 34 matches is up, we may look back at that Atlanta match and say that was the turning point of the season. Well, as of right now, that was the turning point of the season, unless we can turn it around again.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to some of the comments here in a second because there are a couple of them. But I want to point out, too, that I think this isn't necessarily even a message to, like, the fans as just lip service, which is something that Aaron said in the chat, and people are eating it up. First off, I just want to say I disagree with that because of the fact that we've never gotten this before. Like JJ said, we haven't really had any members of our leadership kind of being vocal saying this isn't good enough. So it is just kind of, it might be lip service-y to a degree, but it's refreshing. to say the least. But I think it's also just kind of a message to the roster. Cesar, Wilder, Pedro. Oh, Wilder injured, obviously, but Cesar, Wilder, Pedro, Kyle Smith, all out of contract at the end of the year. Angulo, Robin Janssen, Santos, all on option years, can be let go for free at the end of this year. Like, if you want to stay here, this team should be ascending. Like, tighten your shit up or get out is really what it kind of comes down to at this point. And I think that's kind of how he feels. And I do want to go, Aaron did put something in here a little forceful. If anyone should be fired, it should be the ones that had decided to leave an open roster spot available when there was glaring holes at the start of the season. Technically, if you want to feel happy about that, the guy who was in charge at the start of the season, he's gone. He's on to bigger projects now. Ricardo just took over. So I'm not, that's why I say that I'm kind of happy to see it coming from Ricardo.
And I don't disagree with that. Either one of it probably is lip service, but that's what you're supposed to do in this role. I'm glad he's taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
And as far as the open roster spot is concerned and glaring holes at the beginning of the season, when the season started, when the first transfer window was in, we had 2 glaring holes. We had to replace Facu, and we did a hell of a job doing that. And Wilder got hurt, and we had to replace him, and we did a hell of a job doing that. Okay. The other holes that are now created are guys that going into the season, you would have thought, these are the solid spots in the roster. This is what we don't need to look for. Our backup center back is Rodrigo Schlegel, who last year proved extremely serviceable, especially as a backup. He can be that third center back option. Our goalkeeper, one of the highest paid in the league, he's second highest paid in the league. He's great. He's definitely serviceable. We don't need to. If there's anything but a hole, it's him. Cesar, same thing. It was anything but a hole. We didn't have to replace Cesar. And even Angulo, you look at Angulo, he had a decent season last year for what he was making, for who he was. If you would have told me going into this year that our 3 DPs would have 45 goal contributions, Ojeda would have 10 and 10, Pasalic would have 10 and 7 through however many games we're through, I would have said, we're one of the best teams in the league. We're probably top of the supporter shield standing, not 6th in the East. It ain't those guys' fault. There's no glaring. I mean, there's glaring holes now that need to be solved, but you can't solve all the holes that have been created by these tenured guys with one open roster spot. That's a U22. That it's almost impossible to get a U22 to come in during a summer transfer window and actually make a dedicated impact. It's not, I'm not saying it is impossible, but it's highly, highly unlikely. You don't want to get these U22s that you're counting on that for. You want these U22s that can grow into the squad, that can start at the beginning of an off season, grow in and mold. Not guys that are coming in to pick up the slack for a guy that's been in the team sheet for 5 years that just all of a sudden forgot how to play soccer.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
I hear you. So let's get. I'm noticing now that when I do this, I look like Wilson from Home Improvement. I'm trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Heidi ho there, neighbor. But David saying many of us have met Ricardo in person, a passionate man who wants us to win. He knows that after 11 seasons and 10 years, enough is enough. Waiting is not an option. Tired of the lovable losers. I did meet Ricardo once, and it was at the Premier League weekend that they did at City Walk. Me and Eddie ran into him, and he was rocking his Manchester City stuff, and I was like, ew. And I will add, Aaron added one more thing. Here's a killer stat. Our last win against a team from the East was against the International Retirement Home in Fort Lauderdale. That is just pretty depressing when you think about it, because that game was a long time ago.
JJ and I sit right there on the tunnel, and in the playoffs last year, 2 years ago, when Orlando City is getting eliminated, or we're losing big games, there's nobody in the building that has more pain and more angst in them than Ricardo. There's nobody. This guy paces back and forth in the tunnel, checking the scoreboard, looking out, hoping that something happens to change the flow of the game. This his passion is unquestioned, and he wants to win. So I think that post goes into. I think that post was arguably more of a fan. He's a fan of the club. He's a fan of his job, and that was that post. That was the fanhood in him coming out. And that's why we haven't seen it from other guys in his position, because I'm just going to say it. Those guys didn't love this club, didn't feel the connection to this club like Ricardo does.
And that's one thing that I want to add on to is got to remember he had many opportunities to go be the head guy somewhere else. He interviewed for a lot of them.
Yep.
He stayed here because he wanted to be the head guy here. So I agree with that. I think that this is what he wants. And it's gonna get better. It's probably gonna there's probably gonna be a lot of changes, I think, this offseason.
Remember, I interviewed him in Portuguese, for Orlando Lions.
I needed subtitles.
Yeah, with the subtitles, hopefully you guys all read it. Man, I had to use a company to do that. But let me tell you, this guy loves Orlando City. And Mike, just like you said, he had opportunities to go to top Brazilian clubs and be
and MLS clubs too. He had two offers,
and he could have been the top guy. No, he waited right here, waiting for the opportunity. He loves Orlando. He loves his kids here in Orlando, João and, Joãozinho and all them. His son loves having him in, they love Orlando. His whole family loves Orlando. He's a big fan. Before the games, I talk to him all the time, and when we were in the situation last year with Poppy, this always comes to my mind. And what he said, if it was in Europe, he would have been gone already, but we're in America. It's totally different. The style of how coaches get fired and things like that. So the guy understands the game more than I think anybody that we've ever had in that position. And
wait, you're going to tell me he understands more than Paul McDonough?
We're not going to go to that one.
Sorry, I wanted to make you laugh. That's what I was going.
We don't have enough time for that.
That's a whole different argument and story. But yeah,
just listening to episode 6 in our history to hear more about that.
Yeah,
you want to get some Nikki Budulich in here? What are we doing?
That's another one, Nikki Budulich. But going back, this guy loves Orlando City, and for him to be going on Twitter and saying that, where we've never had, top management saying something like that, I think. And that's why I honestly, I know Alex doesn't think so, but I honestly think he's put in the fire. They're all in the hot seat there, and the coaching staff. The whole coaching staff's on the hot seat. I guarantee you. And if you see 1 or 2 more losses, he's not going to play. Listen, this guy has the UEFA freaking certificate of whatever, Harvard University's soccer of, psychology. This guy has all the degrees that has to do with soccer, and he goes to Europe and he looks at these teams from Sporting Lisbon to Man City to Barcelona to Real Madrid. He goes and he sees what these teams do. The guy's smart. Unlike, I'm not trying to say put down other people that were there, but the guy knows his soccer and he knows how it's really done. So that's just a little spark to put under their asses, the coaches, and that's what it is. And if they don't produce, I'm telling you, within 3 games, if he loses 3 games, mark my word. I said Marco Pasalic was going to be the best player we have. Guarantee it, Poppy will be out at 3 losses.
I just want to go ahead and say that you mentioned here you didn't want to drop any names, so now I feel like a butthead because I dropped 2 names, guys that have no ball.
Totally fine. We've dropped their names plenty.
I just wanted to laugh at it. All right, guys, let's go ahead. We'll change.
And to be fair, I don't.
PG-13 instead. We've cursed plenty on this podcast I see.
Yeah, that's my bad. I brought that to the show. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry, everybody.
when JJ says that he doesn't want to make anybody else feel stupid, I don't think it was the two guys you mentioned that JJ was worried about.
No, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, but that's all good.
One more from David. Ricardo's former player and has worked in different facets of the business. Let's not forget that he has always been a friend to the podcasters. That's true. He talks to us a lot more than he probably should sometimes, but we appreciate him for that. But we always keep everything internalized. We'll let you know if it's ever really important. But stock up, stock down is where we're at next. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start. I'm going to give a stock up. I know Ojeda got the goal this time around. I'm just going to go ahead and give a general stock up to our boy Pasalic, getting the All-Star game nod this morning. The video definitely is a guy who looks like he's never heard of an All-Star game before. His reaction was just like, that's good.
What the heck is that?
Yeah, so welcome to Americanization of sports, my guy. But shout out to Pasalic for that. Obviously, well deserved. Ojeda, arguably more deserved than Hani Mukhtar and Carlos Heel because he's got more goal contributions than both of them in less minutes on the field. But I digress. And stock down, I'm just going to be simple. Rodrigo, dude, no reason to put yourself in that situation to make that tackle. It's easy as that. So, Alex, what do you got? Stock up, stock down.
Schlegel is an obvious choice for stock down. I don't know. I think honestly, Otero's not the guy. Unfortunately, I don't think he's the guy to take over Pedro next year. So, there's stock down to be had in that. He looked lost on the penalty. Whatever MLS Next did for Freese has not correlated to Javier Otero, but he's a big kid and maybe he gets there, but I don't see it. Stock up. The kid's a dog, man. Alex Freeman is he's unbelievable. I mean, the guy played.
You can use the same.
He played essentially every minute of every match through a final with the United States men's national team. Game after game, every 3-4 days. Really didn't get a rest and came in and impressed. Didn't really miss a beat. And for a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid, the guy that can't drink yet, to look like that. I mean, he's a true professional. We're lucky to have him. And right before we started this podcast, Tom Bogart came on and said that we're not looking to sell him. We're in active contract negotiations to give him a raise and extend him. So he deserves it. I hope we keep him. I hope we get him on a deal. I do hope we sell him for his benefit, for our benefit eventually. If he
one
can
more year.
If he could lock in that World Cup window, I don't think it's bad. Give him a raise right now. I even mentioned it to you guys. Just because you sell him doesn't mean he's got to go right now. There's plenty of times where the World Cup's next June and our season ends in November, December, and we have that transfer window. You could sell him after the end of the season and then have him on loan this year to up until the World Cup, to start the season. So I'd love to keep him as long as possible. With that being said, the kid's a talent. He's a star. And if it's his dream to go and play in Europe, it's attainable. He can do that whenever he wants, I think.
And before we go to JJ, so sorry to cut you off, buddy. With that announcement from Bogart before we started this, I said that the U.S. men's national team fans are obviously going to be upset that we're trying to keep him here longer. We're just giving ourselves leverage, honestly. We're going to sell him, and we're going to sell him into a situation that makes sense for him. We sold DK into a situation that made sense for him. We sold Facundo Torres into a situation that made sense for him. We attempted to sell Duncan McGuire into a situation that made sense for him. It's just Blackburn doesn't know how a fax machine works. So there's only some this team that we have here, this front office does right by the players. And I think that Freeman will sign a new contract and stay with us a little bit longer term.
There's no place where he belongs, in my opinion, that he can go and get playing time before the World Cup. Unless
He's got to
going
make the World
to
Cup team.
Bundesliga 2 or mid-level championship team. I don't think that's a step up. I don't think that's a benefit for him to go play in those leagues. Turkey, I I think what's best for him is to get as much playing time as possible at this level. Uh, I think he's set himself apart to have a really good chance to at least be the backup right back next year at the World Cup. And I think, getting as much playing time right now, there's nothing that'll kill a World Cup dream more than going somewhere and not playing
That's the
when
thing.
you're a fringe player.
That's the key thing for him is being the fact that he is a fringe player and is probably going to be the backup as long as Serginho Dest is healthy. You have to go into a situation to where you're getting playing time. And right now, as a 20-year-old kid going to Europe, he might not have that. So it's best to keep playing. So sorry to cut you off, JJ.
All right. My stud, or what are we doing? Stock up, stock down? Oh, stock up. I give it to Freeman also. He almost scored a goal actually in that game, right in front of me actually. And so the guy comes off from the Gold Cup, playing all these minutes, like Alex says, comes in, plays 90 minutes, and still almost scores a goal for us. I mean, the guy's, and I love one of the moves that he did in that game that put one of the players of Montreal on the floor, broke his ankles, and then the guy just fell to the ground. So definitely Alex Freeman. And then with the contract, not that he owes us anything, but remember, he did come from Weston, and then Weston didn't want him, didn't think he was going to be a great player.
No. It was Inter Miami that didn't want him.
Or Inter Miami, but he was, I think,
Miami.
Weston also.
I think it was Javier Carrillo coached him at Weston, and then he left, so he tried to go to Inter Miami, and then Carrillo's like,
they
come
didn't want him. Yeah, come here to Orlando. So, and basically, he came to Orlando. We gave him his chance to shine, and he's been shining. He's been a shining armor for us, since basically the end of last year. So definitely Alex Freeman deserves it. He definitely should get paid and transfer when it's the right time. Hey, it's time to go. If that means, you sign him to get paid more, and then at the end of the year, and I agree with you with the World Cup, unless he's going to a team that he's going to be starting in Europe, which I don't think he's going to be going to any, Premier League or La Liga or, French league or anything like that. Definitely he should stay here until after the World Cup, even make his stock go even up higher after the World Cup. Say Serginho Dest does get hurt or something happens, or Mauricio decides to, hey, I'm going to start you instead of Dest, and his stock goes up. That means more money for us on selling point. Yeah, I agree. I think Aaron's saying, easily could take Belgium, Dutch, Portugal to one of the big five, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's at that talent yet for any of. I mean, look at Gio Reyna. Rumors have him coming back to the MLS now, or coming to the MLS. And he's at Borussia. Didn't really work out there, so. We'll have to wait and see with all this and see what the dust, when it settles, what happens. But definitely would love to have him here. I'd definitely love to have him here the whole time and end your career, to be honest. But I know it won't happen.
It's going to take a while until MLS becomes a league that people want to spend their whole career at. We're still not. We're still got a ways to go.
We got ways to go. Stock down. Stock down. I'm going to give it to the bonehead move of Papi. Definitely on that one, for taking out, your two strikers, your two goal scorers, put Martin Ojeda up front as, your striker, and just weird in the 60-something minute to be doing something like that. And, somebody scores, you're screwed now for the rest of the game. First of all, you don't have any more strikers really on. I mean, you have Shaq. Shaq Muhammad, but he's not really going to do. He hasn't played at all. Taffy's not. He's not going to be there either. So
he's not even an attacker, really.
Yeah, he's not even an attacker. You don't have anything, and I just don't understand why you would do something like that. And then also, why mess with something that's been working for so good? The Ojeda Pasalic combo that's been working great with Ojeda at the 10, Pasalic on the right side. Maybe you should have just started Angulo, like Alex said, and don't mess with anything. Instead of having maybe put Murillo starting instead of Ramiro and let him go up front and then bring Ramiro in. But have the two strikers and then taking them out, it just doesn't make any sense. You're playing with fire, you're gambling, you're playing basically Russian roulette, and you got screwed basically. You lost on that Russian roulette and you got shot basically with the bullet.
I will say, I think that this week we're going to go back to Angulo, whether it be Wednesday or Saturday. It's going to happen in one of them. And because you mentioned it, another stock up to Justin Ellis, who had another 2 goals in MLS Next Pro over the weekend. Get his homegrown deal done. Like, we need help at the striker position. He's scoring goals down there. He's still a young kid, but just do it. I don't know what we're waiting for on that one. I'd like to see that get done.
Well,
all right.
I just want to say something real quick, Mike. You're talking about Justin Ellis. Great. Yes, doing great. I mean, we did the same thing with Caraballo, and all this. Whatever happened to him, he's staying over there. Yeah, bring him up. I mean, to me, he's done great. He was doing great. All of a sudden, boom, out of the rotation, on the bench and everything. And that's what's frustrating to me. Some of these players, they're doing great. And MLS Next, you bring them up, you sign them. Caraballo got signed to the homegrown and everything, and now you don't even see him anymore. So it's like, what's going on? Come on. And that's all coaching right there.
I enjoy seeing Caraballo somewhere. He showed plenty of promise when he came in, and
he's only 16 too. And that's the thing, he's going to mature. He's going to get better.
And all this talk too about Nico Rodriguez, can he play left wing? We don't know. He gets 7 minutes a game when he does play. It's just, it's the same thing like Ojeda for the first year of his contract. It's just, we don't know how good a player can be.
Some good news for you, at least. He did get 45 minutes in with OCB last weekend because of the fact that we're not really playing him. So he made one good play. He put Shaq in on goal, showed off his speed. Got through the defense, stopped short, and then put a great lead pass into Shaq, who kicked it right into the goalkeeper, and that's why Shaq doesn't play much with the first team.
Multi-million-dollar transfer, getting a half with OCB. It's like,
Yeah, I'd like to see him play more. I'd like to see him get more of a chance. I agree. All right, so we got 2 games to preview, one on Wednesday, one on Saturday. We got NYCFC at home. Our initial first rival coming into the league together. We lost to them 2-1, I think 4 weeks into the season up in New York at was it at Yankee Stadium or was it at Citi Field? I don't remember. But the way that I look at these two, it was at Citi Field, yeah. The way that I look at it, we have NYCFC at home. We have New England away. 2 teams below us on the table. We have not been playing well lately. I personally I think this is where we're going to finish on the table. I don't think we're going to finish above 6th. I think this is where we are. This is where we're going to be. But if you have any hope of being able to move up, it's these 2 games. Our suspensions are over. So Robin Janssen and Pedro Gallese are back. I do not know if we have any other players suspended, and none that I have heard of. No injuries that I've heard that have been picked up. So JJ, to you first. Thoughts on the game, and what is your prediction?
These are 2 big games. If you look at the standings, we lose to New York and we lose on Saturday. New York jumps us. We go down to 7th. And then down there, I think there's a couple of other teams. We can actually, within the next 3 games, if we lose 3 games, we could be in 10th or 11th if the other teams make moves up and win their games. So these are some big games coming up, these next 3 games, really. And NYC FC is a must win. These are all must wins now. unfortunately, we have to say they're must wins, because if we don't, we get a point or a loss. In these 3 games that are coming up, we could be out of that playoff contention, out of 9th place. So to me, it's all must win games, and this is why I go back to the Ricardo tweet that he's putting fire on the coaches' asses here. He's putting them in the hot seat, saying these are must-win games. You got to win. If not, we're basically out of the playoffs, and we're shooting down in the 9th place. So these are all 3 big games. No matter what, we got to come out with our best lineup. That means Angulo on the left. Let Ojeda play at the 10. Marco Pasalic there on the right. Ramiro or whoever. We have to have our best starting lineup, and we can't come around with jacking around with bringing whoever we want and thinking that this is Montreal. And look what Montreal did. We tied with them, and we're totally out of content, that whole team on Saturday. So going back, definitely must win. Definitely Orlando needs to win this game, and the win on Saturday. So basically,
what's your prediction for New York?
Games. Huh?
What's your prediction against New York?
2-1 New York.
Oof. We must win, and you're predicting a loss.
Right now, I'm not seeing anything that you can say that we can win the games. Maybe a tie. I mean, when our coaches are doing what he's doing, and our players aren't really, and they're fouling and they're doing stuff, it's not giving me any confidence of saying this team is capable of winning. So I got to go. New York looks pretty good, so I'm going New York on this.
Alex.
A team that just lost to Charlotte.
They're hungry.
They have, they beat Toronto. They lost to Montreal 3 games back. I mean, they're really up and down. It's a must win. One of the comments says we have 1 win in the last 10 against them. Sounds about right. This is just the beginning to get off the slide. In my opinion, we have to get 6 points out of these next 2 matches to have a chance at anything higher than 6. And if we get less than 3, we're probably trending more towards the play-in game, unfortunately. This team's 4 points behind us with a game in hand. If we let them come in and get 3, that's tough. New York City always usually finishes strong too. So that would be tough. And then on the road at New England on the classic pitch is always hit or miss, even though we're good on the road. And then you get Columbus before the League Cup. So at Columbus. So yeah, these next 2, this week is a pretty big week in our season for sure. With that being
imagine
said,
getting no points, Alex. Imagine getting 0 points and everybody else moves up. Orlando's out of play-in, out of playoff at that point.
Yeah. And like you said, JJ, I mean, going into a Leagues Cup like that, who knows what happens? So, but I was going to say we're going to win until JJ said the tactics, the players. I don't see anything here that leads me to believe that there's a win. And I got to say, I agree. Unfortunately, if we play like we did with the same tactics and the same attitude like we did against Montreal, we'll lose. If we play better than that, we'll tie. We got to be back to where we were at the beginning of the season to win. So I'll say 1-1.
At least you gave me.
I am going to be – we need an optimist here. So I'm going to go with it. I think we're going to go back to Angulo, Enrique, Pasalic, and Ojeda as the attacking front 4 because I feel like Poppy now doesn't have a choice, but he has to because he's screwed up the way that it should be. And Muriel as an attacking option off the bench will be better because of the fact that other than that, we have no options off the bench. So that's what I'm going to see. I'm going to go 2-0 win for Orlando City. Go ahead and give me goals from Pasalic and Ojeda. And then going into New England away, I hate playing on those plastic fields. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw because I feel like that's when you're playing against the field as well. That doesn't help. We've never been particularly great up there. So 1-1 draw is what I'll do. Alex, what do you got against New England?
You got to start the same 11 that started against St. Louis City, in my opinion. That was the last time we looked good. Obviously have Freeman in there, which just will only bolster what you got. But we were missing Freeman, and we changed up everything. I wanted to see Angulo bench, but I have never felt like I've been so wrong, because it's not the answer. We thought it was the answer. Scratch it off the list. It ain't the answer. It's not. If we had a replacement for him that could give us more production in his role, that isn't one of the guys that are currently dominating for us, maybe could be the answer. But replacing him with one of the guys that are already on the pitch while he's on the pitch, not the answer. So put him back in. Away to New England, W. I think
I love it.
I have faith in this team. I have faith in Oscar, as crazy as that is for me to say. I have, we've in these situations in the years past, we've answered. We've turned it around. So I think we'll get the win against a far inferior team like New England. So Janssen will be back. Freeman's back. I think in my opinion, 6 points is what we need out of this week for sure. I think it's
You're giving us 4.
attainable. I think it's doable. 4 seems fair. Wouldn't be surprised if we got 6. Would be very surprised if we got 1 or 0, and I would be sounding some alarm bells after that.
Fair enough. All right, JJ, last prediction for you against New England away.
I'm gonna be pessimistic, and once again, I think we'll probably get out of these 2 games probably 1 point. I'll go with a 1-1 or maybe a 0-0 draw against New England. I just feel I don't feel the confidence that I did at the beginning of the season. My confidence has kind of keeps on going away. That doesn't even help, seeing that what I just came up. So
appreciate you for the stats, Aaron.
Yeah, and seeing all these stats that Aaron's putting up, it just makes me say that we're not going to get even 6 or 4 points in this. So I mean, I'm just fed up of seeing this whole damn thing. Summertime, for some odd reason, we struggle. We turn it around. We get to the playoffs. It's just a revolving door that we do every freaking year. We get into the playoffs, play in or not, or get to the quarterfinals and lose or some. I'm just fed up of seeing this. It's getting tiring. It's getting it's getting old. I want to dominate. I want us to win. I want us to get a star. I want us to do something in a U.S. Open Cup. We couldn't even get that this year, which was kind of sickening and disgusting, So,
hey, we could get Leagues Cup.
Yeah. Okay. It's just I'm just fed up with it. It's getting tiring. It's getting old, and it's same crap over and over each year. And it's like, all right, great. We start hot or we start cold, and then we turn in hot where we're going to win the whole damn thing. And then we start sliding again at the end of the year. This year was opposite. We started hot. Now we're starting to get cold. We'll probably hopefully get hot here at the end, start going in August, September, October, start warming up again. And then we get to the playoffs and we choke somewhere. It's getting old. And it's like everybody knows that. And it seems like, from the pundits to everybody, it's like, Orlando City, they're just an average Joe team. They get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold, and they don't go. They get in the playoffs and they don't go. You know who they remind me of? The Buffalo Bills. Make it all the way to the Super Bowl, but never win. Just go far left, far right, and just miss field goals and come close. But at least they made it to the Super Bowl. We can't even make it to the final MLS Cup.
Shout out Jeff Hostetler, 1991 Super Bowl winning quarterback for the Giants, beating the Bills. Yeah, that is an all-time name pull. Jeff
Yes, it
Hostetler.
is. Yes, it is.
How is Leagues Cup working this year?
We
Stupidly.
play all Mexican teams.
Better, but stupidly.
Yes.
It is now only the top 18 MLS teams versus the 18 Liga MX teams. So we will only be playing Liga MX teams for the group stage. Once the group stage ends, they are now going to be midweek games for the knockouts moving forward. Very unfortunately for the Mexican teams that advance realistically, because they will now have to do midweek travel to US in order to play those games. So it's literally just the break for the group stage, and then the other games will continue throughout after that. If I'm
No. Our schedule is way too difficult. The last 9 matches, we can't afford to add midweek games into that. That's horrible.
I agree. It's not it's like they made a compromise, but it was a bad compromise. I don't understand why they decided to do it the way they did. So
I talked way too much trash about the Leagues Cup when Miami won it, so I can't actively enforce, wanting to win it now and saying it's an equal trophy and all this stuff. So I just
it's more money than the CCC and the Open Cup, and
that's true.
Still gives you still gives you the CCC spot. That's why it's important.
But man, that would be really. I think that would derail our season, the MLS season.
What's going to do is you either win it or be prepared for MLS. It's one or the other. I don't know that you can do both, and not unless we make some moves in the transfer. I don't know what we would do, but that U22 slot's got to be filled. I think a homegrown for Justin Ellis makes sense. Wait and see what happens.
I don't think. I think it's going to be an international player.
Oh, it'll be an international U22, but that's what it's going to be. It's going to be U22. I don't think it's going to be anything else.
It's going to be an international U22 player that we get.
And I still think a Justin Ellis homegrown is going to happen at some point. All right, JJ, shout out time. Bring us home. You haven't been here in a minute. Give us your shout outs.
Shout out to you guys for keeping, Orlando Lions Den continuing every week. I was actually going to do Lions, the Lions After Dark or whatever, Lions Den After Dark, but I was kind of too pissed off. I instead went on Twitter and went off, but yeah, because I saw you couldn't do it, and I was gonna do it on the way home, and I was like, nope, not gonna do it. I'm gonna be cursing left and right. I just left the game, and I wasn't very happy. So, but shout out to you, Mike. Definitely you, Alex, Cleon, Ryder. I know me and Eddie have been kind of lost with the work and everything, but you guys keeping it down, and keeping this going. So shout out to you all for continuing to make this happen.
I appreciate that, man. Alex, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I'll shout out, just shout out my wife, my mom, my mom's boyfriend, my pseudo father-in-law, basically, and my in-laws, and for holding it down. Speaking of holding it down, JJ, haven't been home in 3 months now. Today, actually.
Wow.
And it's been tough, and it's hard. It's hard when you got a 3-year-old at home. So, but we're making it happen, and I couldn't do it without the supporting cast. I got you guys too, but my family has been huge. So shout out to them. Not that they listen, but
I was gonna say, man, you guys had heartfelt shout outs, and I'm like gonna shout out movies and wrestling. Now I feel like
Mike's gonna shout out the big dumper.
Shout out to the big dumper.
Shout out to the big dumper too. Go Noles, baby, FSU.
It got big dumper. I'm mad that we didn't get Pete Alonso in the Derby this year. We could have had big dumper versus the polar bear, FSU versus UF.
That would have been good.
Sorry though, just gotta say that is the most elite nickname in baseball. Just because the guy's got a big old butt, they call him Big Dumper.
His dad saying he didn't get that from me was the highlight of the Derby for sure.
And the one
I know he pitched to one son and his other son caught the ball, and it was like this whole harmonious moment. But his dad saying, nah, he didn't get the big dumper from me.
And then the commentator unreal. Just being like, I mean, his brother got the big dumper. He's got the big dumper. His dad doesn't. like just being on TV, being like, I gotta get a look at mom.
Oh my goodness, dude! They were going
that
off
was
the
funny.
rails with that last night.
Oh, it was funny. But no, I was gonna shout out a good weekend for wrestling, man. I like AEW. All In was an awesome show, and WWE Evolution was also sick. So if you like wrestling, go check both of them out because they were sick as heck.
And that's Saturday night main event.
It was bad. That's why I didn't say anything about Saturday night's main event. They screwed up Goldberg real bad.
Oh yeah, it was Bret Hart
kind of Montreal screw job. Only they did it in Atlanta.
And
also, I was just gonna say it's also been a good year for movies. Like I enjoyed Superman when I saw it. I enjoyed F1 was a lot of fun, and I know nothing about racing, and that got me into racing. And Alex and Daryl and Zach in Manscaped League One, shout out Manscaped League One, were basically like, boy, did you pick a good week to go see that movie because you saw a hell of a race for your first one.
Unbelievable.
Dude, it was a great one. So I am now invested. So yeah, definitely recommend seeing F1. Superman was fun. I'm excited for Fantastic Four. Thunderbolts is great. Even like my artsy crap that I like, Phoenician Scheme was dope. I got a movie pass now if you guys couldn't tell.
Listen, cloud seeding and adjusting the weather is 100% as a pilot is not real. But if all this excuse on evidence on showing that it's real, if there was one thing that would prove that it was real, it was Silverstone going rain, then dry, then pouring rain, then dry. 3 days after the F1 movie came out. This is the same script as Drive to Survive going through the roof in 2021, and then the Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen final race saga. That was like, I watch a lot of sports. It was the most controversial event in all of sports history, in my opinion. If you know the ins and outs of each individual sport, that ending in 2021. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you need proof, it's the rain in Silverstone, not anything else. Because if they were manufacturing excitement through rain, that's what it was right there.
That reminds me, I need to go watch the 2021 season of Drive to Survive, so that way I can find out what all of that is about.
You got to watch before the Drive to Survive. It doesn't really do it much justice, honestly. I have to find like a documentary or something that actually goes.
If you find it, send it to me.
It was the biggest robbery in all of the sport.
I remember you guys talking about it when it happened, but I just didn't know much about it. So,
like, probably should have been criminal charges for whoever was responsible. Brian, I think, is that one show we go to F1 just to telenova for grown men?
That's Aaron.
Oh, dead to me, dude. Dead to me. No way. No way.
Go watch the movie. It'll change your life.
The movie is a telenova for grown men.
100%. 100%.
I don't know if you're talking about the movie or the sport. If you're talking about the movie, I agree with you. If you're talking about the actual sport, dead to me.
That's a great way to end. So we'll go ahead and wrap up here by saying our supporters are dead to us. Oh, gotta end it on a funny note. I'll be back. I know I got nothing going on tomorrow, so I'm gonna watch the game, and I'll be back for Den After Dark on Wednesday night. He says he eats that stuff up, so never mind. You guys are good. We'll be back on Wednesday for Den After Dark, and realistically, probably back on Saturday for Den After Dark as well. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Vamos, Orlando, as always, and let's turn this crap around. We got it.
Let's do it.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.